The Galactic Empire's High Command convened in the obsidian war room of the dreadnought Eternal Supremacy its walls lined with holographic star maps flickering in the cold light. Grand Admiral Vathon, his scaled fingers steepled, watched the latest battle replay with detached amusement. Human ships, patched-together frigates and retrofitted freighters, had attempted a frontal assault on the mining colony of Xerxes III. Predictably, they'd been obliterated within minutes. Again, they throw themselves against our shields like insect against glass, he said, his voice a low rumble. The officers around the table chuckled, their laughter sharp with derision. Their tactics are relics, sneered Commander Krell, a cyborg whose augmented eye whirred as it zoomed in on the wreckage. They still use bullet star, as if kinetics could pierce durasteel. In the shadows of the room, Lieutenant Dravia shifted uncomfortably. She'd studied human history, knew their persistence, their knack for asymmetrical warfare. But voicing dissent here was suicide. Instead, she watched the replay. Human soldiers, clad in flimsy armor, charging across the asteroid surface, only to be cut down by plasma fire. One figure stood out, a soldier who had broken rank, darting behind a rock formation instead of advancing. The feed glitched before showing his fate. Odd! On Xerxes III's scorched surface, Corporal Elias Vance dragged himself through the rubble, his ribs screaming with every breath. The air smelled of ionized metal and charred flesh. His squad was gone. The Empire's drones had sliced through them like a scythe through wheat. He'd survived only by playing dead, a trick his grandfather had taught him, a veteran of some forgotten Earth war. Asterisk, sometimes the best weapon patience, asterisk the old man had said. Elias clutched his rifle, a battered M99 with a scratched stock. Ballistics. Primitive, maybe, but silent. No energy signature to alert their senses. A crackle in his earpiece. Vance. Status. The voice was Captain Rear Moores, the only other survivor of a unit, holed up in a collapsed refinery half a click away. Alive, he muttered, for now. Static. Then, commands ordering a full retreat. But there's chatter. Someone's picking off Imperial scouts. Single shots. Clean kills. Elias frowned. The Resistance didn't have the resources for spec ops. Who? A pause. They are calling him Asterisk the Sniper Star. Back aboard the Eternal Supremacy Vathon dismissed a human threat with a wave. Their so-called resistance is a rabble. We'll crush them within the cycle. But as the officers dispersed, Dravia lingered, pulling up the glitched footage. She isolated the soldier who'd broken rank, Elias, and ran a facial scan. The database spat out a file, **Vance, Elias, former Terran Marine, designation, sharpshooter to **, a footnote caught her eye, **, suspected ties to Project Longshot to **, she'd never heard of it. Her console pinged, a priority alert. A patrol on Xerxes III had gone dark. All 6 troopers, dead. Headshots. No distress call. No enemy sighted. Dravia's stomach tightened. She deleted the file and stood, glancing at the Admiral's retreating back. He hadn't noticed the anomaly, but she had. Somewhere in the void between stars, a legend was being born, and the Empire, for all its might, hadn't yet realized it was being hunted. The first confirmed kill came 3 days after the massacre at Xerxes III. A squad of Imperial shock troopers, elite, armored in black durasteel, was found in the frozen trenches of Calax Prime, their helmets punctured by a single round each. No alarms had been triggered, no footprints in the snow. Just 6 bodies, their visors frosted over, staring into nothing. Lieutenant Dravia studied the holos with growing unease. The precision was inhuman. The angle suggested shots taken from over a kilometer away in sub-zero winds that should have made such accuracy impossible. Ballistics, muttered Tech Officer Wren, his fingers dancing over the autopsy report. But not standard issue. These rounds are hyperdense, self-correcting. Terran design, but refined. Dravia's pulse quickened. Project Longshot to she dug deeper after the first incident, unearthing fragments of classified data, whispers of a human Black Ops program to create the perfect marksman. Not just a sniper. A ghost. Elias Vance crouched in the skeletal remains of a downed freighter, his breath fogging in the pre-dawn chill. The rifle in his hands felt alien now, sleek, matte black, its barrel threaded with microscopic stabilizers. He'd found it 3 weeks ago in a derelict bunker, stashed beside a corpse in a tattered resistance uniform. No identification, just a scrawled note, asterisk for the last shot that matters. Asterisk the weapon hummed when he held it, as if it recognized him. A crackle in his earpiece. Movement, North Ridge. Rear murmured. She was his spotter now, though neither had officially agreed to the arrangement. The Empire had labeled them deserters. The Resistance called them loose cannons. But the whispers among the survivors, asterisk the sniper asterisk, those were growing louder. Elias adjusted his scope, the retinal overlay flickering to life. 2 Imperial scouts patrolled the ridge, their infrared signatures glowing like embers. 2 close to the refugee tunnels. He exhaled, fired. The first scout dropped. The second spun, panic flaring in his thermal outline, just as Elias' second shot took him through the throat. Clear, Rhea said, but her voice was tight. They're adapting. Drones next time. Maybe hunters. Elias didn't answer. He was already moving, the rifle's weight a silent promise. Admiral Vathan slammed his fist on the war table, sending a holographic battalion scattering. 6 more dead on Calax. And now this asterisk vermin asterisk picks off my men on asterisk Solari's asterisk. The officers stood rigid, avoiding his gaze. Commander Krell's cybernetic eye twitched. We've traced the weapon signatures. It's 1 sniper, possibly enhanced. Enhanced! Vathan's scales darkened. Humans don't have the technology. Dravia stepped forward before she could stop herself. With respect, Admiral, they did once. She pulled up a file, a grainy image of a pre-war Terran Spec Ops unit. Project Longshot. Neural-linked sharpshooters, designed to operate behind enemy lines. The program was scrapped, but what if they perfected it? The room fell silent. Vathan's nostrils flared. Then we burned their hiding places to ash. Rhea found Elias at the edge of the dead zone, a wasteland of shattered asteroids. He was cleaning the rifle, his motions methodical. They know about you now, she said. Not just rumors. Asterisk intel. Asterisk. Elias didn't look up. Good. She grabbed his arm. They'll send everything. Hunters. Orbital scans. You'll die. For the first time in weeks, he smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. They'll try. Above them, the stars burned cold and indifferent. Somewhere among them, the Empire was coming, and the sniper was waiting. The asterisk eternal supremacy asterisk hung in high orbit over Typhon V, its shadow eclipsing the planet's lone moon. Admiral Vathan paced the command deck, his claws leaving faint scratches on the polished floor. Every report was the same. Another patrol vanished, another officer dead with a single hole between the eyes. The sniper wasn't just killing them. He was unraveling them. Full planetary lockdown, Vathan snarled. No ship enters or leaves. Deploy the hunter-killers. The drones were his pride, swarms of AI-piloted assassins, each programmed to track a single target through heat, breath, even the tremor of a heartbeat. If the sniper was human, he wouldn't survive the night. Elias presses back against the rusted hull of an abandoned fuel depot, his breath shallow. The sky pulsed with a telltale hum of drones, their red scanning lights cutting through the ash-choked air. Rhea's voice hissed in his earpiece. They are sweeping grid by grid. You've got maybe 5 minutes. He didn't answer. The rifle in his hands felt heavier now, its neural link humming against his temples. It showed him things, angles, trajectories, the faintest weaknesses in Imperial tech. A gift or a curse. He moved just as the first drone passed overhead, its sensors grazing the spot where he'd stood. The rifle rose almost on its own. A single shot, no louder than a sigh. The drone exploded in a shower of sparks. One down, Rhea muttered. Only a few hundred to go. Elias allowed himself a grim smile. Then I'd better stop wasting time. Dravia watched the tactical feed from the safety of her quarters, her fingers trembling over the console. The sniper was picking off the hunter-killers with impossible precision. Worse, he was asterisk learning star, adapting. Each shot was faster, more efficient, as if the rifle itself were evolving. She pulled up the old Project Longshot files again, her stomach twisting at the final entry. Subject 0, neural symbiosis with prototype weaponry. Termination recommended. A knock at her door. Commander Krell stood there, his cybernetic eye glowing. The Admiral wants you on the bridge. We've got a location. The refinery was a graveyard of twisted metal, the perfect labyrinth. Elias moved through it like a shadow, the rifle scope painting targets before he even saw them. He'd taken out 12 drones. 12 more would already be closing in. Rhea's voice cut through static. Elias, they're coming for you now. The supremacy just launched drop pods. He knew what that meant. Not drones. Not scouts. Vathon's personal guard. The best killers in the Empire. Good, he said softly. Let them come. The first hunter died before his boots hit the ground. The second made it 3 steps. The third managed to raise his rifle before Elias' bullet split his skull. Then the world erupted in fire. The explosion threw Elias into a wall, his vision swimming. Through the smoke, he saw them, a full squad in onyx armor, their weapons trained on him. At their center stood Admiral Vathon, his scaled face twisted in triumph. At last, the Admiral hissed. The mighty sniper, just a ragged man with a gun. Elias spat blood, his fingers tightening around the rifle. It pulsed in his grip, warm, alive. Vathon raised his sidearm. Any last words? Elias looked past him, past the troops, past the smoke, to where Typhon VS Moon hung in the sky. The shot was impossible. 3 kilometers through atmospheric interference, a moving target, no clear line of sight. The rifle showed him the angle anyway. Just one, Elias said, and fired. The bridge of the Eternal Supremacy shattered as a round pierced the viewport, spinning through the void with unerring precision. Admiral Vathon had just enough time to widen his eyes before it took him in the throat. Chaos erupted. Alarms wailed. Officers scrambled as the ship's AI screamed about hull breaches. Dravia stood frozen, staring at the Admiral's corpse. The shot had come from the planet, from him star. On Typhon V, Elias collapsed, the rifle clattering beside him. He could hear Rhea screaming in his earpiece, could feel the vibrations of approaching troops. It didn't matter. Somewhere above, an empire was breaking, and in the dust and the blood, the sniper smiled. The Eternal Supremacy reeled like a wounded beast, its command deck bathed in the crimson pulse of emergency lights. Dravia clutched a console as the ship's gravity fluctuated, her mind racing faster than the alarms. Vathon's body lay where it had fallen, the Admiral's violet blood pooling around the perfect hole in his throat. The shot had been impossible, and yet, lock onto the sniper's last position. Krell roared, his mechanical voice cutting through the chaos. I want that entire sector vaporized. Dravia's fingers flew across the controls, pulling up the tactical feed. The refinery where Elias had made his stand was already swarming with Imperial reinforcements. But something was wrong. The heat signatures were scattered, unfocused, as if her breath caught. Decoys the asterisk. Elias dragged himself through the refinery's underbelly, each movement sending jagged pain through his ribs. The rifle was gone, lost in the blast, but its ghost still pulsed behind his eyes, a fading imprint of angles and distances. He'd rigged the charges hours ago, just as Rhea had taught him. The real fight wasn't in the shots. It was in the aftermath. A shadow moved ahead. Elias froze, his hand closing around the combat knife at his belt. Easy, sharpshooter. Rhea stepped into the dim light, her armor scorched, her left arm hanging limp. You look like hell. Elias exhaled. You should see the other guy. She tossed him a compact blaster. We've got 90 seconds before this place goes up. Extraction's waiting at Grid 7. He didn't ask who'd arranged it. The Resistance had disavowed them weeks ago. But Whispers had a way of becoming networks. Krell's fist shattered the holodisplay. His asterisk on asterisk. How? The scout trembled. The refinery, it was rigged with charges. Our teams found nothing but... He swallowed. A message. The words hung in the air, pulled from the rubble in jagged script. Asterisk, you brought an army. I only needed one shot. Asterisk. Dravia turned away before Krell could see her expression. The sniper had done more than kill an admiral. He'd exposed the Empire's weakness, not in their shields, but in their pride. The stolen Imperial shuttle shuddered as it broke atmosphere, its stolen codes barely keeping the orbital defenses at bay. Elias watched Typhon V shrink in the view screen, the refinery now a flickering ember on its surface. Rhea slumped into the co-pilot's seat, wincing as she activated the autopilot. Where now? Elias didn't answer immediately. The rifle was gone, but the imprint remained. The knowledge. The Empire would hunt them forever. And yet... He reached into his vest, pulling out a data chip. Dravia's access codes, lifted from a dead officer's belt. The keys to project Longshot's final files. Somewhere they'll never expect, he said softly. The stars blurred as the shuttle jumped to light speed. Behind them, an empire burned. Ahead, war.